I think a big part of that, which is something I'm learning more recently, is that patience is really important. A lot of the times we get frustrated because we don't understand a concept. We get frustrated because we can't pick something up as quickly as we thought we'd be able to. But in our biology, there's just a waiting mechanism or like a processing mechanism that's built in before we can truly grasp things. Just like you were describing gradient descent, it probably wasn't the first time that you went through it that you just immediately understood it. You
No.
probably poured over it a couple times, and one of the things that like ideas hit people in the shower, right? Things have to sort of match up where you maybe see something else subconsciously that looks like the pattern. You go, oh, I get that. I mean, an example is, I've been training a lot of jujitsu for a while. There's some movements when I was starting, I couldn't get the feel for them. And it wasn't till I've been training for, 2 years that I realized, oh, my body physically could not get into that position. So I couldn't do the movement. It's like, well, that's why I was struggling so much, is because I wasn't flexible enough or I wasn't strong enough in this area. And so a lot of the times when we're going into new scenarios, we just haven't built up the prerequisites to understand what's going on. And we have to learn sort of all these things in unison for things to eventually start clicking. And that is largely just a function of being patient with yourself and realizing that you're not going to understand everything overnight. Like things are not going to necessarily click right away. That does take time, which is, obviously difficult for people that are really used to like hyper focusing and solving problems
Yeah.
as like an engineer or data scientist.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. And actually, let me take a stab at trying to say that another way, which I think is helpful. And I hadn't thought about until you communicated that, which is like, I think part of maturing as a professional or even just as a person is like over time, you'll start to understand what you're good at and build up confidence. When we go from school to work, like it's such a night and day shift of like school, there's this fast feedback loop of like, you learn, you go to lecture, you get a lesson, you have a quiz the next week, you get an A, I'm good. You have this like fast, like you can put in the time and the effort to get that instant, like I'm good feeling. At work, especially in tech, your first few years, you're just like, oh man, like I'm trying not to get fired here because this is so hard. And you feel in over your head. And honestly, I felt like that probably at least 50% of the time, the first 4 years of my career. And it takes a while of like being thrown into new situations and like, navigating your way out of them or to the top of them before you really start to trust yourself. At least for me, that's how it felt. But now that I've been in the industry for 8, 9 years and done this a few times, I feel like now is really when I'm starting to feel just absolutely confident in myself that like I'm going to be able to be thrown into a difficult situation and navigate my way out or solve it. And I know that I don't know the answer right now, but just having the confidence that I'll be able to figure it out is something that just comes with maturity. And I think that's something that young professionals could really, I don't know exactly how they can internalize it because a lot of it does come from experience, but like being comfortable not being the best at something or being comfortable not knowing the answer to something does like that is a side of maturity, is like feeling comfortable with that feeling. You know what I mean?